may be seated.
And it's that you're responsible for answering questions that are put to you. If you don't understand a question, you can say that, and I'm sure counsel will rephrase. If you can't hear a question, tell them that as well. But courtrooms function in, and especially trials, unfold in a question and answer format. This is not an opportunity for you to interject your own narrative and evade responding to questions the court deems appropriate. And if you continue to do so, your entire testimony may be stricken. Am I clear?
Yes.
The jurors.
All rise, jurors enter. May be seated.
Jurors, at this point, I just want to be clear on one point, all right? And it's the following. You may not consider anything you heard that was stricken from the record. When an answer is stricken from the record, it does not exist. And in determining what the facts are from this case, you're sworn to determine those facts solely and exclusively from the evidence presented, and you may not consider any answer that I have stricken. All right? Thank you.
Proceed, Your
You
Honor.
may proceed. Thank you, counsel.
Ms. Adams, 3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from STEFON DIGGS, correct?
That is client lawyer privilege. I cannot speak on that.
You believe that your lawyer's communications to STEFON DIGGS are covered by your attorney-client privilege, ma'am?
I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer to that question.
You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from STEFON DIGGS, don't you?
I have a workers' comp claim, and
Your Honor?
I've explored all civil options.
Ma'am,
I don't understand.
are
the
you
question.
able to
Sorry.
answer
No.
that question?
No, I'm
Counsel,
not
restate
able
the
to.
question, please.
You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from STEFON DIGGS.
Do you know that, Miss Adams?
No, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how to answer the question. I don't understand.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, before we direct, may you be heard at sidebar?
Of course. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yesterday, Defense Counsel showed you a form about that you filled out to the police,
Yes.
and they made a point that you're the hand, but not the forearm and elbow. May I approach? I'm putting a form in front of you. If you could just take a look at that and look up, recognize it,
Yes.
and I may direct the witness's attention. Could you read right here when it says the expected injury? Or
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain.
is there anywhere on that form where you do note the forearm and forearm being used to choke you?
Objection.
Yes.
Sidebar.
On cross, I believe there's some questions about the text messages leading up to the assault.
Yes.
And, do you have still a binder in front of you?
Yes.
Do you mind opening to section 3 and to pages ending in 114?
Okay.
Would you mind reading the text messages from page 114 to 117?
And I'm running that bitch life. The next text message doesn't say anything. I won't be paying you shit.
And would you mind just saying who's saying it?
Okay, I said the first. I and running that bitch life is what I said. Mr. Diggs said, I won't be paying you shit. Fuck, I look like paying you and paying another chef. Is you high, bitch? Who the fuck give you money for your business? Who the fuck gotta give you money for your business? I don't gotta do a motherfucking thing. And you can get whoever you want. You got my address. Tell them to come take the money then. Fuck you talking about. I said bet. Pussy. I said pussy. Show me I'm pussy. Will do. That's it.
In your experience as a personal chef, is it common practice that when chefs get sent away, they get paid for the week that they get sent away?
Yes,
Objection. Your
because
Honor.
that's the only job I have.
And I know on Cross it came out that you made a public statement where you said, "I have never sought money to settle this case." When you said this case, was that referring to the criminal case? Or?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Very briefly, Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead.
That series of text messages that you just read, that was in response to you saying after you were fired by Mr. Diggs, you will be paying me out for the season and the money, I'm sorry, and this is on page 113 of Exhibit 3. You will be paying me out for the season and the money you said you would give me for my business. Wasted my fucking time being here because you got a fucking circus going on, right?
Yes.
So when he said he wouldn't be paying you, he was referring to your demand that after you leave your employment on December 2nd, he nonetheless continued to pay you $2,000 a week for the rest of the New England Patriots football season while you were not working for him, right?
That's not how it goes.
You will be paying me out for the season, right?
I was a contracted employee.
It's a yes or no question, ma'am.
I don't know how to answer that question. Sorry.
And before you said that, if you turn just one page back to page 112, what Mr. Diggs said to you that you were responding to was, I'm gonna leave you be. Thank you for cooking for me for this season. I appreciate you. Hate it even got to this. That's what you were responding to when you told him he would be paying you out for the season, right?
No, it's a full context of those messages.
Ma'am, was the message that came from Mr. Diggs that preceded your demand that you be paid out for the season? Thank you for cooking for me this season. I appreciate you. I'ma leave you be.
Can you say that again?
You can look right down there on page 112. I'ma leave you be.
What was your question?
I'm not finished. Thank you for cooking for me for this season. You can read along and correct me if I get it wrong. I appreciate you. Hate it even got like this. Right?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay. And you were really hoping that Mr. Diggs would give you some money so you could open your own restaurant, weren't you?
Objection.
That was our agreement.
That was what you wanted him to give you, right?
That was an agreement.
Ma'am, is this a contract suit?
Objection.
This is an assault.
That objection is sustained. Witness doesn't have to answer.
Withdrawn, Your Honor. Thank you.
There's no question in front of the witness.
You wanted him to pay you to open your own restaurant, right?
I wanted to pay me past wages.
Okay. Just one moment, Your Honor, please. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else?
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Commonwealth calls Kenneth Ellis of the Devon Police.
Watch your step. You're going to remain standing and face the court. Thank you.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. You may sit or stand. Thank you. Thank you.
Proceed.
Go right ahead. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Would you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, it's Kenneth Ellis, Ellis,
And what do you do for a living?
Dedham Police Officer,
And how long have you been an officer at the Dedham Police?
18 years,
And what's your rank?
patrolman.
And prior to being an officer at Dedham, did you go anywhere else? Were you an officer anywhere else?
I was not.
So prior to being an officer at Dedham Police, did you go through any sort of special training or academy?
I did. I went through a police academy in Randolph.
And how long was that? What did you do in the police academy?
I was about 25 weeks, I believe.
And-
Everything from law, different aspects of the law, criminal law, constitutional law, motor vehicle. We had emergency vehicle operation, firearms, report writing, first aid, things like that.
Turning your attention now to December 16th, 2025. Do you recall if you were working that day?
I was.
And do you know what shift?
I was working the day shift, 8 to 4.
And were you out on duty, patrol? What were you doing?
I was assigned to the front desk.
Okay. So when an officer is assigned to the front desk, what are their duties?
Basically just any walk-ins. Sometimes we have the business phone rings, the non-emergency line.
When you say walk-ins, is that just someone literally
Yeah,
walking
anyone
in?
can walk in. People, ranging from, oh, may I use the restroom, or I'd like to make a report, anything. Yeah, anytime someone comes in, we greet them.
And during that day, did anyone come in?
Yes.
And do you know who that person would be?
We Mila Adams.
And when this person came in, you didn't know who that was at the time? right?
No.
And she came in. What, if any, observations did you make of her when she came in?
She sat down on the bench and she was crying.
And did you approach her, or did you wait for her to approach you? How did that?
I actually went. Normally, I speak over the phone. There's a phone to talk to the people in the lobby.
Like behind glass?
Yes, yeah. It's like almost like a smoked glass. But because of her demeanor, I went out to speak to her in person.
And did she want to talk to you at first?
No, she did not.
And why?
She asked if there were any female officers working.
And what did you say?
I actually went back to the shift commander's office and I checked the scheduling sheets, and it appeared that there was not one until 4 p.m. that day.
So what did you do?
So I went back and I let her know, and I just told her that, she didn't feel comfortable giving me a statement towards anything, then that's okay. And, if she could come back at 4 o'clock. And then I went back to the desk, I believe, for a bit.
And then what happened?
Then she called me back over and said she would like to give me a statement.
And where did you talk?
So right after you enter the lobby area, there's double doors, and then to the right of the double doors, there's kind of like an interview room. So we do fingerprints for like civilian things, gun permits, things like that.
And what did you talk about?
So she just wanted to give me a statement without mentioning anyone involved.
So what do you mean she didn't want to mention anyone involved?
Well, she said, I would like to tell you something.
Sustain.
But eventually, did you come to learn the identity of the person that she was talking there
Yes,
talking there about?
I
And
did.
who was that person?
She identified him as STEFON DIGGS.
And how many times did you talk to Miss Adams?
Just that time in person, and then I believe there was multiple emails, and then it was probably 2 more times on the phone, maybe 3.
I want to draw your attention to the binder in front of you. Do
Sure.
you mind looking at that first, flip the page to that first one, that first tab? There's something in front of you. This is what was previously marked as Exhibit 1. Do you recognize what this is?
Yes, that was those were screenshots of text messages that she forwarded me.
So those are the messages that she provided you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that one page, yes. At the conclusion of all your communications with her, what did you do?
So that day, you mean, or?
Just at the, I guess, end of, would you call this an investigation? I don't know enough the police term.
Yeah. So like once
Incident, I don't know.
at the end of it, which was about 10 days or so, maybe 8, 9, 10 days from the time that she originally reported it, I ended up filing a criminal complaint.
Against whom?
Mr. Diggs
And for what?
was assault and battery, and strangulation or suffocation.
No further questions.
Good morning, sir.
I'm going to start at the end there. Thank you for being here.
Sure.
You said you've been a Dedham police officer for 18 years?
Yes, sir.
You just told us a little bit about the investigation, I think is what the DH has described it as. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, essentially.
Yeah. And so that involved what you just said. You took a statement from Miss Adams, you exchanged emails, you got a couple phone calls from her, and then you got a voicemail from her asking you to go to court, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then that's what you did.
I did contact a phone number of Mr. Diggs twice, left voicemails, and was not able to speak to him.
That phone number, you don't know that that's his, correct? You didn't speak
The
to
one,
anybody.
one of them, I did use the TLO service to confirm his name. It was a 240 exchange.
So I just want to be sure here, Officer Ellis. You called the phone number, correct?
Yes.
You didn't speak to anybody.
No, I did not.
You spoke on the phone to Miss Adams,
Correct.
correct? You spoke in person with Miss Adams on the 16th, right?
I believe it was the 16th, yes.
Right. You didn't speak to any other people, correct? That's
No.
the only human being you spoke to.
No, there was another attorney I spoke to, but I don't believe from your firm.
Okay, so some other attorney.
Yes,
All right. You didn't get any photographs, right?
no, there was none presented.
And there was none to take, right?
Not from me, no.
Right,
Absolutely.
because when Miss Adams walked in and you observed her,
Yep,
you didn't see anything on her body that said, I should document that.
I did not, no.
And your job is to document what's important, right?
Correct.
And that's where you write a police report.
Yes,
And so about December 16th, you did write a police report, correct?
I did, sir.
And that was documenting the conversation that you had with Miss Adams, right?
Yes.
And you said you've been a police officer for 18 years. I imagine you've written a lot of police reports.
I would say so.
Okay. And you've spoken to a lot of folks, correct?
Yes.
And you know that you write that report to record all of the important information that
Yes.
that person has,
Yes.
right? To document it.
Correct.
And that's what you did in this case, right?
To the best of my ability, yes.
Yes. And so when you spoke to her on December 16th, Miss Adams told you that there was a dispute over a text message with Mr. Diggs, correct?
Yes, the initial disagreement, I suppose.
Yeah, and
started
that the
over
disagreement
text
was,
messages.
was about money,
That's-
right?
that's what I
That's
was
what she
told.
said.
Yes,
She said they were arguing about money over text messages,
correct,
right?
correct.
And then he came into her room and this thing happened, correct?
That's what she told me. Yep.
Okay. And then after that, she left her position, right?
That's what, yeah, she said, yep,
Meaning her job.
correct.
And then she told you she did go back to the house on December 9th to get her things, to get her belongings, correct? Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And then the next thing she told you was that she, in that interim period, after she left her position, she went to New York City on December 2nd to be with friends, correct?
Yes,
And when she said that, those were her friends, right?
that's what I believed.
Right. You didn't think she was going to go see somebody else's friends,
No,
correct?
no.
Yes. And it'd be important to you to know if those were STEFON Diggs' friends, right?
I suppose.
That'd be important to your investigation,
Yeah,
wouldn't it be?
yeah.
Okay. And so another thing that was important, I think you already talked about, that was Exhibit 1. You got that right in front of you, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so Miss Adams had said there was an argument over text about money that ended in a physical altercation, correct?
Correct.
And you asked her for the text messages, right?
I believe she offered them, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes.
And you took them because
Yes.
accepting the text messages that led to physical altercation would be important, right?
Correct.
You want to have that.
Right.
You want to document that.
Right.
All right. And so that's what that is. You received those from Miss Adams by email, correct?
Yes, I did.
And then you documented them, you saved them, and they're sitting right there in front of you right now for trial, correct?
Correct.
All right. And looking at those text messages, if somebody deleted messages from that before they ever sent it to you, that would be important for you to know, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
If those weren't complete,
Correct. It would-
you would want to know that.
I'd want the whole picture, correct. Yeah.
Okay. If I may have one moment, Your Honor. I have no further questions. Thank you.
No redirect, Commonwealth rests.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the Commonwealth rests any evidence for the defense.
Defense calls Michael Perry.
You can just remain standing, watch your step, and face the front, please.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. You may sit.
I may proceed. Your Honor. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you please state your name for the record and spell your last name for the jury?
Yes, my name is Michael Perry, last name Perry.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I do digital forensics for a company called Level Blue.
Okay. And how long have you worked for that company in that role?
Essentially 15 years through a number of acquisitions. Level Blue recently acquired Strauss Friedberg, who I worked for a number of years.
All right. So you've been in your position for a number of years, essentially with the same company. The name has changed at the top of the header. Is that fair to say?
That is.
All right. Prior to that, what kind of experience did you have?
Your Honor, Commonwealth would stipulate that this witness's credentials.
All right, thank you. I'll
I'm
leave it
gonna-
to your discretion.
Move along. Thank you. So just quickly, prior, what was your experience to working for the company that ended up becoming Level Blue?
I worked for Strauss Friedberg. Prior to that, Aon. Then Aon acquired Strauss Friedberg. Strauss Friedberg acquired Elysium Digital. So that was kind of the progression. But I held the same position.
Okay. And before that, did you work as an investigator of any kind?
I did. I worked for the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department as a digital evidence analyst.
How long did you do that?
It was about 5 years.
Okay. So my math is correct, you've been analyzing digital evidence for about 20 years then?
That's right.
And you have to undergo certain kinds of specialized training on how to do that?
Yes.
And I imagine if technology is developing, you have to kind of get retrained on that fairly often. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say.
Right. Do you have any experience in dealing with digital data with regard to iPhones?
I do.
Right. And can you just describe kind of when we're talking about digital data from a phone, what does that mean? What does that look like?
Digital data from a phone is, data stored on the phone